All right, we're about to dive into something pretty wild. It's a source that's claiming a massive cosmic event is about to trigger a huge shift in human consciousness. These are some seriously bold ideas, so let's just jump right in.
And this quote from the source material, it really just says it all, doesn't it? It's a promise of something big, something huge that we're all supposedly on the very edge of experiencing.
So the absolute core of this whole message is that there's this cosmic entity, and as it gets energetically closest to Earth, it's going to activate this massive remembering for all of humanity. So what exactly is this thing?
Okay, so who or what is the messenger here? Well, according to the source, we're not just talking about some comet in the way we usually think of them. Nope, this is supposed to be something much, much more extraordinary, a form of consciousness.
The source calls it 3iAtlas and describes it as this incredible expanded consciousness. And its whole purpose, we're told, is to help us break free from the limits of our everyday mind and connect with this just huge field of awareness that's already there.
Now, to really get a handle on how 3i/ATLS is supposed to do all this, the source uses a really powerful analogy, the iceberg. It's actually a fantastic way to picture the parts of our own minds we know versus the parts we don't.
And this quote, this really gets right to the heart of the matter. The idea here is that our true self isn't that constant chatter going on in our heads. No, it's the expansive, conscious energy that exists before a single thought even pops up.
Okay, so check this out. This slide breaks down that whole iceberg idea perfectly. You see the tiny little tip sticking out of the water? That's what they call the lower mind, and it's only about 5% of our awareness. That's the ego, right? The part that's always thinking, often running on fear and old, repetitive patterns. But the real magic, the real story, is what's under the water, the infinite mind, the other 95%. This is described as who we really are, expansive, creative, the part of us that can tap into totally new possibilities. The big message is that we're being nudged to shift our focus from that tiny 5% to the massive 95%.
So what does this Great Awakening actually look like? According to the source, it's not just some abstract concept. It's a whole series of energetic events that are going to have very real effects. Let's take a look at the timeline to see how this is all supposed to play out.
So the source gives us a pretty clear sequence of events here. It all kicks off with a major activation from December 18th to the 22nd. Then, boom, mid-January, we're told to expect an alignment of our energy centers, which is supposed to help us realize things we just didn't have access to before. And then in March, as 3iAtlas gets closer to Jupiter, there's another activation coming. This one is all about wisdom, optimism, and the potential for another big jump in consciousness.
And get this, apparently people are already feeling the effects. The source suggests that things we might just brush off, like tinnitus, that ringing in your ears, might actually be us tuning into higher frequencies. People are also reporting seeing orbs, flashes of light, or feeling this new energy moving around in their bodies. The big idea is that our classic five senses are starting to expand, letting us perceive reality in a whole new way.
And to help us navigate this whole shift, the source says there are 3 key energy centers in the body that are really, well, coming online more powerfully. Let's take a quick look at what those are.
So first up is the heart center. You can think of it as the vibrational home base for your soul. The idea is to move away from being led by that fear-based ego and instead let your heart take the lead. Let it guide you with intuition, inspiration, and connection. Next is a really interesting one, a new energy center called the Shanti, or Peace Chakra, which is located in the head. In a world that just feels more and more divided, this center is supposed to be our anchor for unity. The source even suggests that the pressure or headaches some people are feeling could be a sign of this very chakra opening up.
And the third one is the sacral center, your gut. This is the home of that deep, profound intuition. You know, that gut feeling. The invitation here is to stop thinking your way through everything and start feeling your way through life, trusting that deep sensory knowledge in your belly.
Okay, so this all sounds pretty incredible, right? More peace, more intuition, but as you can probably guess, a process this profound isn't always just a walk in the park. The source is very, very clear that this shift forces us to face the parts of ourselves we'd probably rather keep hidden away.
So, what happens when this flood of higher energy starts pouring in and it runs up against our old fears, our old patterns? Well, according to the source, there's just nowhere for that old stuff to hide anymore. It has to come to the surface. This quote is really key to understanding how to get through this. The source explains that as you start to hold more light, anything inside you that doesn't match that higher vibration, old fears, limiting beliefs, past stuff, it's all just going to bubble up. But the guidance is crucial. Don't be scared of it. See it as a sign that you're finally ready to let go of what isn't serving you.
And the source offers a really simple but profound 3-step process for this. First, just witness the feeling when it comes up. Don't get lost in the story your mind is telling you about it. Second, just be present with the physical sensation of that emotion in your body. Fight that urge to run away from it. And finally, just allow it to move through you. It's a powerful reminder that an emotion, when you actually let yourself feel it, can pass in as little as 90 seconds.
So, where is all of this going? What's the ultimate destination of this whole journey? Well, according to the source, this deep process of awakening and dealing with our inner shadows, it isn't just about individual healing. It's about a collective evolution for all of humanity.
And it all leads up to what the source calls a quantum leap. By letting go of all that old baggage from the past, we're told that we can loosen our grip on our old identities, and that opens us up to new, higher-frequency timelines and potentials for our lives. And this leads to a truly breathtaking vision. This isn't just about you or me transforming personally, it's about a collective rebirth. The source makes this extraordinary claim that through this energetic shift, we are literally, energetically birthing a new kind of human, and through us, a new Earth. And so that leaves us with this final, profound question to really sit with. If the core idea of this whole thing is true, that we're not just people having a spiritual experience, but we are infinite consciousness having a human one, then the future is a completely open book. What we choose to create next, well, that's entirely up to us.